I regret to inform you that the Life Worth Wasting podcast is about to begin.
Welcome to another episode of the Life Worth Wasting podcast. I am your host, the one, the only, the Devo, and I am joined as always by this man named
Bob the Subscriber Killer.
Ah, yes. Yes. We got the wonderful, useful criticism that due to a combination of sword art and Bob's lack of enthusiasm, that anybody giving the show a chance immediately fucking offs themselves.
Yep.
Within 10 minutes of every episode. So we're going to change things up a little bit. We're still going to continue, speaking of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, but we're going to rearrange things a bit. We're going to shove sword art towards the back a bit. And we're going to break up the monotony with a little bit of no game, no life. All right, Bob, let's go into that time I was reincarnated as a slime. So many amazing, eventful things happened. They went to the realm of spirits, I guess, and
I just thought it was some weird fucking stone building that the little fairy bitch just magicked the shit out of.
There's so many questions about this episode, so let's try to just lay everything out here. The druids are old. The druids used to know the Queen of the Spirits. The druids no longer know the current Queen of the Spirits, implying that someone has taken the throne as the new Queen of Spirits, correct?
I mean, they explain it in the episode, but before going into the episode, yes.
That's how you would assume what was happening.
Yes.
They then meet a woman from a foreign land who says that she knows of where the Queen of Spirits may reside. And they also imply that later in the episode that the druids knew where the queen was located, just that there might be a new queen, meaning that we could have completely avoided having to meet the woman for a foreign land because the druids already knew where they could have gone to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
They go into this relic of a building that could have been around for thousands of years. Who knows? It looks like an ancient temple. They imply that it's a labyrinth, but thankfully, since Rimuru is perfect in every way, memorizes the layout of the building, which doesn't matter because they use teleportation portals anyway.
I'm starting to think like his penis is just like a sensor rod. He just points it in the direction he wants to know where shit is.
Why are you trying to force these jokes, Bob? All right, what the fuck was I saying? Okay, so he hears a voice in the distance claiming that, unless he proves himself to a test of, courage and strength, they'll kill him, I guess. I don't really know. We get a giant robot that Rimuru defeats with ease because that's what this show does. And the person shows themselves out of fear of being killed by Rimuru. And it's a fairy who claims to be a demon lord who is the ex-Queen of Spirits. What? Even Rimuru's confused by this, because can anybody be a demon lord? And what does that entail? So. They imply that you just have to have a fall from grace, but a fall from grace of what? Did Milam have a fall from grace?
I'm just going to assume that anyone of a certain power level can be considered a demon lord.
But she gained too much power. Like, she gained more power than when she was the Queen of Spirits. She was the Queen of the Druids, which are supposed to be like these godlike beings.
I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
I don't know. The internet compares this little fairy a lot to Aqua from Konosuba. I don't get the reference, but there's a lot of connections there that people are making. Can you enlighten me on that, Bob?
Nope.
All right. I found her adorable. Just constantly eating cookies with her mouth fucking full, which is something you only get from the sub. The sub is whenever they do the dub, they never ever put the effort to actually pretend they have something in their mouth. They just try to do that like pinch the corner of their mouth chewy noise.
Yeah.
Those fucking Japanese voice actors commit, god damn it.
When I saw her, something else popped into my mind, more adult related.
What? Why?
I don't know why. I don't know why.
You wanted to fuck the fairy?
No, but I was just thinking, like, I wonder how big of a dick she could take.
I mean, based on her size, less than your pinky.
She seems to get bigger and she fluctuates her size.
No, it's that weird Peter Pan shit. Like, whenever it's from a distance, she's a ball of energy, but whenever you zoom in, she has like a humanoid form. She's probably a little bit smaller than like a Barbie doll.
Yeah, well, my observation stands.
Bob, I'm gonna recommend a series of graphic novels to you called Bondage Fairies. I've done videos on them before. People seem to like it. But still, Bondage Fairies, Bob. Very attractive fairies fuck each other, insects and animals of the forest. It exists. It's a classic. You can buy it in hardcover. Enjoy. Thank God I edit these to be faster because I have no speed to me. I'm so tired after work. Okay, so they tried to make this weird connection where they're linking the mechanized golem that the dwarves were trying to create with the robot mech thing that she uses to try to test Rimuru, in that they had a failed project. Her tiny fairiness jacks their failed robot experiment and then uses spirits of the elementals to operate it and made it super awesome, even though Rimuru destroyed it within seconds.
Yes.
And he offers to make her a new and better one. Okay.
Dun dun dun. Yeah.
Now, the part that I found the most, I have I'm at a loss for words due to this sequence where she goes, I'm going to take you to where all the spirits live. We have to convince the spirits to want to live in these children. But if they don't, we can just keep making new spirits until one does.
So why not just make a new spirit to begin with?
Why even fucking jump through the goddamn hoops then? Just fucking make a spirit for each kid. Also,
Yeah.
it's this like, how is it this fucking easy to make spirits? Are the spirits that much weaker than the demon lords? I thought Ifrit seemed pretty fucking powerful, and he was just a spirit. He wasn't like the god of spirits. He was just a spirit, implying that there's many spirits of his ilk. And she's so amazingly powerful as this little fairy that she can just create these godlike elementals whenever she fucking feels like it.
Yes.
Okay.
Even though she seems weak as fuck.
She does
There's
seem
nothing
weak
to
as
talk
fuck.
about. I mean, it's weird, but what else is there to talk about?
Well, like I said, the things I wanted to talk about was just breaking down the logical inconsistencies.
Yeah, there's plot holes out the ass in this episode.
This episode, yes. This episode in particular, for being a child-friendly isekai RPG bullshit, this is where the logic breaks, is this episode. I'm also fearful that they're going to make the big bad of the series a good guy.
Oh, the Leon guy or
Yep.
Leo or something like that?
Yep, gonna happen. I think it's also weird that Milam went to go visit the fairy to tell her about her bestie.
Yeah. Hey. It was for convenience sake.
When we first meet Milam, she's in that like dinner table in that like house with all the other demon lords, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was the fairy there? Does the fairy leave like the tomb of the spirits to go hang out in a fucking like dining room with other demon lords and like talk?
I don't know, but let's keep going, man. This is getting
What?
repetitive.
Goddamn, repetitive? We're saying repetitive?
Yeah.
I don't think it's
getting
repetitive. We're talking about different things. It's not really repetitive.
I mean, it's just,
If you wanted to say we're treading water,
no, it's
you'd
just
be
getting
accurate.
repetitive. Ugh, no.
you just gotta use your. Okay, so we're gonna skip over sword art to prevent everyone from fucking killing themselves.
I mean, they already just fucking left after that.
All right, Bob. So as I mentioned last week, I did have my interest peaked after watching that video about No Game, No Life and how it's about weebs being the next step of human evolution and all that other bullshit, autistic crap. So I downloaded the series. I downloaded the dual audio. I wanted to have that sub. I wanted to have that dub. I like to compare. Watch the first half of the series, 6 episodes. I didn't realize how short No Game, No Life is. For something that has been talked about so much for the last few years, only being 12 episodes is quite shocking to me. How long ago has it been since you've watched it?
It's been a few years.
Is it really that old? God damn.
Yes.
Okay. The first episode had me worried. It really did. I hate that stupid bullshit they feel the need to do where they're like, in a world In a place where things happened, a great legend spoke of some people. Like, fuck you. That was the first part where I'm just like, oh god, not again. The next part is the really bad, like, battle royale thing they were doing, and the one girl's trying to, like, recharge her mana pool so she can cast a spell, and she casts, like, this ultimate nuke spell, and the main character avoids it, and she's like, oh, he must be hacking, and her friend's like, well, you were hacking too. It must have been like wall hacks or auto aim or some shit. And I'm like, do the people who wrote this know about any of the things they're referencing? Because that's not relevant to what actually took place in the scene that we witnessed. He's just saying completely unrelated things, but are related to video game hacking in some way. We meet our hero and heroine, two fucking neats in their bedroom/office apartment, where they're each piloting two separate characters. Like, he has 2 mice and she has 2 mice. So they can control 4 characters, which I'm not really sure why, unless it requires a party of 4 people and they don't have any friends, so they don't explain that. Or this is just lazy writing to be like, they're so awesome at video games, they can play 2 characters at once.
I think it's that.
Ugh. And then the most eye-rolling thing, thankfully the biggest eye-rolling thing of the entire 6 episodes that I witnessed, is the idea that they always go by the name blank, not spelled out blank. When they make their character in any video game, they leave the character sheet blank, which is impossible. No video game can you do that, especially online games. Can you do that? So the idea that that is their thing, in air quotes, fuck that. That annoyed the shit out of me. You don't care, Bob? You don't care?
Nope.
All right.
This is your rant.
No, it's fine, but do you acknowledge that's fucking stupid?
Yeah, that doesn't happen in real life. There's got to be
a thing.
Some form of character.
They get Go ahead.
Whether it's like fucking some weird ass like fucking Japanese or Chinese symbols or just like some dots, they've got to have some type of character.
There has to be a character in the box, period, to move on.
Yeah.
It just has to be. They get an email from an anonymous source that challenges them to a game, which I thought was funny because if these guys are such elite computer people, you'd think they wouldn't just click on a link, a hyperlink, in a random email from a stranger. It's asking for some problems.
Nope.
And it opens up a chess game in their browser, which I love that they're like, well, thankfully my little sister is like an autistic chess genius who can see 10,000 moves ahead and can beat any AI. But this person they're playing against is doing things an AI could never do. So it's clearly got to, it's an actual person that they're playing against. So him and her unite their skill set to defeat them at chess, which unlocks a portal that they travel to video game land, which is not video game land, it's just game land. There's no video game shit yet, at least, in game land. It's Lord of the Rings where everything is board game based, I guess. I don't fully understand how the fiction of the world works. It's very loose. I like the idea that there's a rule set, like, oh, you have to abide by the rules. If you're caught cheating, you lose. Everybody has to follow these no matter what. There's no wiggle room. I really like that. Problem with that being, though, is that the other beings in this universe are not using that rule set to its fullest ability. You know what I mean? Like, every single problem in anyone's life should be solved with a game. Fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Solves more life problems with a children's card game than in a universe where literally any problem can be solved with a card game.
Yeah, not to mention, like, everyone fucking cheats.
Which makes no sense at all, because they don't have to. If these people in this world are not actual people, if they are just, like, AI, like I said, they don't, like, is this a real world or is this a simulation? They don't establish that, which fucks with me, because if these are real people, fine, they would cheat. If they're simulations, they're not going to cheat.
Well, you'll die never knowing.
I will die never knowing. They get there and they just totally game the system. I was very fearful after the first time that they place a bet. When they bet that one girl for her bag of coins, and she has a deck of cards in her hand, and he challenges her to poker, and she's cheating using her own deck of cards, and he somehow cheats using her own deck of cards to win. How? How did he do that? He didn't have extra cards. He didn't shuffle the deck. Him cheating to win would be literally impossible. And then I'm like, okay, so Bob says, like, this dude just does some Deus Ex Machina bullshit regularly. And I'm like, this must be that. Like, this is going to be every single scenario is him just being like, yeah, I won. I cheated. I win. Whatever. Fuck it.
Did you get to the chess match?
I did, which I had absolutely no problems with the chess match.
No?
No. This is the thing that's funny. Every game they play after that one game,
You're just expecting it now.
No, is totally within reason. Every outcome is within reason up to episode 6. Besides that one game of poker, I'm totally with everything that happens between episode like 1 and 6. So they meet Steph, and Steph is great because she's a normie and she's naive and stupid and hot. And when you realize when he beats her and makes her fall in love with him, and the rules of the universe are she's literally in love with him now, which is kind of a terrifying prospect. And that's the reason I said that the whole world would essentially be enslaved by this. Like, money wouldn't exist because everyone would just be trading people with these games. And there'd be no unhappiness. There would be no hunger. Like, you could solve anything with the system. If God can materialize things based on the outcomes of games, this universe would not be in the position that it is in if anybody was taking advantage of this at all. Which I know this comes much, much later. But our hero realizes that he could lose a game to become happy. Because she threatens, like, if I beat you, you have to be a decent person. And he goes, forget the decent part, just make me happy. I'll lose any game if the outcome just makes me happy. Which is so fucking sick and depressing, but so real, though. Like, he's like, yeah, my life's a living hell. I'll do anything. Just let me be happy. And then he has his little fucking lolly sister be like, brother, you know we don't lose any games under any circumstance, even if it's, eternal happiness.
So it is 5 years old.
Damn. I am behind on that one. Fuck. Now, I'm going to compare the sub and dub here a little bit. Main character, great either way. I think the dub is better for the main character. Steph, also great in the dub. Love Steph. The failure point is the little sister, because they make her sound like a breathy adult woman. She says brother and bro and is just breathy. In the Japanese version, she's a lolly. She says Nissan and Ni and Oni-chan, all that fucking garbage. So they're completely two different characters based on which version you watch. So pick your fucking pedo poison, I guess. Also, I'm not in your boat with that they want to fuck. I don't get that at all. I don't get that the brother and sister want to fuck at all, at least yet.
Yeah, well, they do.
Then I think like I said, the chess game. My only issue with the chess game is the idea that if you're caught cheating, you automatically lose, right? And there are people who oversee not all of the games, but some of the games. The bitch with the chess pieces that can transform other chess pieces are obviously cheating. How is she not caught cheating at that moment? That's my only criticism in that entire thing. Because otherwise, once you figure out the setup that it is a game of leadership and charisma and inspiration, then fuck yeah, everything he did makes total sense. There's no Deus Ex Machina shit in that. He can totally manipulate those fucking pieces to do whatever the fuck he wants. He owns that shit. He's the video game boy. He's got it.
I'm the video game boy. I'm the one who wins.
The last 2 episodes, though, was the setup where they were going to win back the library from the angel.
Oh, so you finished watching the whole thing?
No, this is the 6 episodes. First 6 episodes. The last two
have
of the
you finished
six.
watching it though?
No, I haven't. No,
Okay.
I have six left to go. So episodes 5 and 6, they meet with the like archangel warrior lady who's fucking hysterical, that they're going to bet her to not just take her library but take her life as well, I guess, to offer her a fucking like one of those ebooks. They're like, I'm gonna give you this fucking ebook if you win, but if we win, we get your library and your life. She's like, that's fair, fine. But she wants to prove that they're a different species than inhumanity or whatever the fuck they shit that they play in this. And she's going to touch his nipples to prove that he's not of their species. And then he gets to touch her wings, which gets in a really, really, really weird spot where he rubs her to orgasm.
妹よ、俺は羽を触ってるだけだ。そうだな。
超健全。
Which I did not expect to happen. Now that game...
You loved it.
I did. I do have some minor issues with that final game where they play against her. I thought it was great. I thought they handled it great. It was funny. It was like, actually, I knew they were going to win, but I didn't know how they were going to get there. It was very complex and interesting. I really, really loved the execution of that game. My gripe is that that only works by making a lot of assumptions. So he makes the assumption that their Earth is made up of the same things our Earth is. He works under the assumption that angels need oxygen to breathe, or could die, or anything. If any of the assumptions that he makes are incorrect, he fucking loses. Which he has no reason to have any faith in his assumptions when dealing with another world and another species. I love the meta humor with the, we're going to remove all the girls' nipples and vaginas and then have them be naked, which is totally cool because it's no longer porn. That was fucking spectacular. Which I thought was weird because he removes naughty bits, but he doesn't specify girly naughty bits, so I guess the implication is he also doesn't have his naughty bits. Do you recall any of that?
I don't, dude. It's been a long time.
Oh my god. Now, there is a weird contradiction that they make, or like I think it's episode 3 and 4, where he goes, I love this world because this world works as it should. People act the way they should. They do things based on correct, rational motivations. It's not like the real world where it's unfair and nothing makes sense and people are stupid and so on and so forth. He makes that statement, and I'm like, okay, makes sense. He then contradicts that statement, like the next episode, by saying, due to our knowledge of how people work and how people always have the same outcomes, if you know everyone's history and medical background, you can essentially always determine what they're going to choose. You have already won every game before it started. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're implying that that's how the human world works, even though you said the exact opposite like an episode and a half ago. Because no, that's not how humans work. Yes, people are very, very, people are not that different. You can predict people up to a point, but you have literally no way of, okay, let me try to give an example here. If you had 2 blank humans that were clones of each other, right? And you had them have the exact same medical history, they have the same parental background, they have the exact same life experiences, their entire existences, they are going to still make slightly different decisions because of the way that they perceived something or calculated or filtered an experience differently. Meaning that they could have eaten something different, it could have affected their blood sugar, and then they experienced the exact same moment of time slightly differently, like it, notated itself in their brain a little askew, which will then affect their choices later on in their life. So they're going to be assembled a little bit differently. So no, you can never, to 100% accuracy, predict any living being's decision. AI, yes. People, no. You have any comments on that, Bob?
I do not. Like I said, there's a lot of shit in the show that just doesn't make sense or comes out of nowhere.
Okay, maybe that's gonna be the last 6 episodes. I am excited to keep watching it. I plan on watching the final 6 episodes tomorrow. Because it's a really easy watch. I mean, those episodes fucking move. I'm surprised they're gonna tie up the story in 6 more episodes. I didn't think that'd be possible. So maybe they don't. I don't know. Hopefully they do. All right, Bob. Punish the audience with Sword Art Online.
I mean, more talking. That's basically it. Kirito and Alice finish climbing. They're climbing the side of the tower. They find the first guy that Yujiro fought, and he basically tells Alice that he's had his doubts for a long time, but he was never able to break through the programming, and he was basically proud of her that she was. He hinted at that. So they go on. They find the guy, one of like the other leaders, some little fucking clown guy, and Alice is talking to him, and he insults her, and she's basically, okay, I'm done with you, and she stabs him in the stomach, and he just starts laughing, and it kind of like explodes into a fucking purple mist, like smoke shit, and then you see an elevator come down in the background, and it's fucking Yujiro, who's got mind controlled by the evil purple-haired naked lady.
Oh,
and
so Grandma took over his mind with her magical vagina?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Well, he gave her admin access to his like programming. So
I bet he did give her admin access.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
she wiped his memory and turned him into one of her knights, and that's the end of the episode. The next episode, they're gonna fight.
Well, can't Kirito like hack a data backup and like resurrect his memory?
Maybe outside of the fucking game, but he doesn't have admin access in the game.
You're saying that, well, he doesn't need admin access. Isn't he a super elite hacker that can just make an item out of fucking nowhere and back up someone's data into an object? Isn't that something he can do, Bob?
Not in this game.
Okay. Well, I'm glad he lost that amazing ability. Maybe it's because he wasn't a beta tester. He doesn't know the source code in this one. Fuck it.
Yeah. It's just... This season, I can't defend it anymore.
What?
It's just so
Yeah.
It's so fucking slow.
I was gonna say, like, what was that thing you told me, Bob, before we started recording? That you've given up on Sword Art?
Yeah. I have hope for it, and it's like the fucking what's it called? The sunken cost fallacy, where I've just put so much time into it. I'm gonna keep watching it.
The sunken house fallacy? What the fuck did you just say?
Sunken cost fallacy.
What is that?
It's basically it's basically a theory where even if you know something's bad or that you shouldn't do it, even if because you've invested a resource into it, you'll continue doing it. Like if you watched 30 hours of something and then it gets super shitty, you're probably going to keep watching it just because you've already invested 30 hours into it.
Is it different than confirmation bias?
I honestly don't know.
Is confirmation bias something you unconsciously do, and then whatever the fuck you're talking about is like one's subconscious, one's conscious? Like, you shouldn't keep watching Sword Art, but you do anyway. But like confirmation bias is like, you're like, no, Sword Art's totally good, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine, it's good. This episode, this season's good.
The sunken cost fallacy, the misconception. You make rational decisions based on the future value of objects, investments, and experiences. The actual truth of it is your decisions are tainted by emotional investment you accumulate, and the more you invest in something, the harder it becomes to abandon it.
Do you think Sword Art could be good again?
No, it's just
No?
I've invested so much fucking into it. It's hard for me to not watch it because I've already invested so many hours in it.
I love it. As you're talking, Bob, there's a meme on the screen of like 2 like regular anime guys looking at a weird mongoloid retard, and it just is a guy wearing a Sword Art t-shirt.
Hey, just think. As I was talking about Sword Art, we probably lost another subscriber too.
Oh god. Honestly, because
Which family member will it be this time?
Oh, fuck you so hard.
I linked you some fucking statues
You link me statues?
on Discord.
Why did you link me I don't have. Oh wait, like private DMs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, I've seen these. Like I said, if there was any character, and this is before I even watched the show, if there was any character I'd be willing to own figures of, it's her, because I love her design.
You totally want to give it to her.
I mean, I don't know, man. Goddamn, that figure, that one right there with the bunny
Bunny or
girl
the other
shit, the bunny one, that one. Ooh,
That does it for you?
does those stocking dough. Also, her hair is like all my favorite colors. Which that's distracting.
That's true. They are.
Oh God. All right.
There's
What?
a
Oh,
great ass in those two.
do you have that figure?
No, I'm just
Okay.
looking at it.
All right. How much is it?
$220.
Oh God. No. All right, let me go ahead. Let's jump into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind, blah, blah, blah. This episode's fucking sucks. It's garbage. I hate it. I wanted to die. I skipped through several minutes of it. Hopefully something better happens next week. That's all. They fucking save the fucking Zipper Man who almost dies. JoJo heals his wounds, but his heart stopped and his soul has left his body. His soul speaks to JoJo and is like, no, we must continue forth. And then he resurrects, except for his body's still dead. So Zipperman's alive, but a fucking corpse. I don't know where that's going, but that's a thing. They then tell the rest of their friends that, yeah, we totally just fought the mob boss and we're like, you know, betraying him. So if you would like to become outcast and be hunted by other mob assassins for the rest of your life, get in this boat. But if not, we're going to leave your ass here. And then everybody just kind of like has like their emotional response to it. And then gets in the fucking boat and the episode's over. That's it. Woo!
Riveting.
Yeah, I know, man. How okay, have you finished part 3 yet?
No. We're like still 6 or 7 episodes out.
Have they fought Vanilla Ice yet?
Yes. They did.
Is anybody dead?
Is anybody dead?
Are any of the main characters dead?
Doesn't it fucking... I think Avdol died. I don't remember.
Avdol died? Again?
Did he die again?
I don't know. Did he?
No, I'm pretty sure he did. It's been like a week since we watched it.
Okay. Is the dog alive?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Does he have an anime face?
Yeah, he has a weird human face and it bothers me.
See? I fucking told you. I put
Ever
it on...
since he fought the fucking hawk, I've noticed it.
He has a fucking anime face. As soon as he got a voice, as soon as they gave him an inner monologue, he had an anime face. So fucking weird. And it's not like a thing that they decided to do now. It does it in the manga. It does it in the anime. It does it in the video games. It's just a thing. Don't know why it's a thing. All right, we got some eventful happenings in Promise Neverland. I kind of thought that this first half would be like the payoff to like an end of an arc. Like this was going to be like an oh shit, we're taking like a fall break in between seasons kind of thing. But no, it happens in the first half of this episode, which really takes away some of the impact of it. Crone opens her letter. It is a message from the higher ups saying, due to a recommendation from, you know, the house mama, you have been given your own farm. Which she doesn't know if she should trust this letter or not. She's like clearly, you know, acknowledges that Mama's trying to get her the fuck out of here because she knows too much. But she's like, you know what? The letter says that, you know, Grandma, who's like their boss, is going to be at the gate and she'll be able to give her the dirt she has on the house mother and hopefully take her down and let the kids escape, so on and so forth. This whole time, I'm just like, this bitch is dead. Bitch is dead. This bitch is dead. This bitch is dead. She goes to the gate.
For the kids.
Yeah. Meets with the grandmother. And she tells the grandmother, like, oh, the kids are going to escape. And the grandmother kind of acknowledges, like, yeah, that happens. And we get like a flashback of like the house mother trying to escape. And I guess the grandmother convinced her not to, which kind of plays into that idea that I had of maybe this is a grand scheme to stop the demons. Then we get the grandmother's like, oh, you know, just so you know, her kids are very valuable, and even if what you're telling me is true, I don't give a fuck. And Crone realizes, oh my god, she's in on it. And then a demon shows up and is like, sorry, bitch, time to die. I went ahead and read the manga chapter that this was, you know, referencing. She doesn't really fight back. The demon just kind of grabs her and kills her. But in this one, there's like all of these like choppy transitions of her like trying to fight / run away from the demon, while we get like her origin story of her training to be a mama and like sewing and karate training and all this other stupid shit, and how she found a pen from a human who was, you know, a peer with the demons, and then left that for fucking Ray to find, which I don't know what the significance of that is. She gets killed. No one cares. The moment kind of has no weight to it because it goes on way too long. She should have just died, and then we could have learned more about her, or had learned more about her in the previous episode. But her at the edge of death, as we learn about her, kind of weakens the moment. Doesn't go anywhere. Now back to the kids. Norman, and Emma are going to go outside the wall to scope out the area before the Great Escape. Ray tries to distract Mama. Mom says, fuck you, locks him in a closet, and then goes to stop Norman and Emma. I love that the kids, instead of being like, oh fuck, something went wrong, let's go warn Norma and Emma, let's go back into the house and try to find Ray. They're not really doing their fucking job at that rate, are they?
Nope.
They break him out of the room. They chase Mama down. Mama does not handle this the way I thought she would. She tries to rationalize with the kids about, I love you, but you need to die, so don't go out there and let us kill you. I'm not sure who the fuck that's gonna work on. It was a really, really lame talking down. Emma decides to be like, okay, I'm gonna hold her down. Norman, you jump over the fucking wall, and Mama breaks her fucking leg at the knee. It appears in it, like, as all of the children watch. And I will say this: this is the second most horrifying moment in the entire series since like the first episode when we saw the dead child corpse. This is a woman.
Hey, you remember Connie's name?
Her name was Connie something something. Her name was Connie something something. This is the why it's so horrifying. The mother is supposed to be someone who cares for them and protects them from anything. She then actively harms one of the children terribly. The trust has been broken, even though we know the trust has been broken with all the lies and so on and so forth. But the reality of her actually fracturing her leg to stop her, to send a message, is insane. But the point of, they're still kids and she's still their mother. So even though she did her job and sent a message and broke her fucking leg, she's still like, oh my God, it's going to be okay, patting her head, trying to comfort her. And then Emma's like, oh my God, this woman's a monster, while simultaneously being like, I'm scared, I'm in pain, this is the only woman who's ever comforted me. It's like this, oh my God, like, it fucks with your head so hard. And that's like the weird, like, child abuse aspect of this, is just like the trust, and like, oh God, it made me fucking ill watching it. Good fucking shit, man. There's, other than Crone's death though, not a ton of progression in what's going on. I don't know what they're gonna do now with Emma's leg broken. I mean, Mama's kind of regained power through intimidation, even though she really has no ability to stop them from escaping.
I mean, she could just lock them in her room like she did fucking Ray.
She has to get them in a room though.
I mean, that doesn't seem like
I still don't understand why they don't just beat her, just bludgeon her, break her legs, tie her to a chair, something. Just don't kill her.
That would at least get them like the rest of the day to escape.
Yeah, I mean, unless she has a fucking like cyanide pill in her tooth, like there's nothing that's gonna warn the demons that they're escaping. All right, Bob. My throat is dry. All right, I'm gonna need you to pick up a little bit of slack on our final topic of discussion: the rise of the Shield hero. Tell me what you thought about this episode, Bob. Go.
It was good. I liked it.
God, you can't just say it's good. You have to explain why it's good.
You're better at talking, so you do.
No, fuck you. Tell me what you thought, though. Other than that you liked it, express what your emotions were and what your opinions were on one of the most important moments in the entire storyline, his transformation into the cursed shield.
You made one mistake in assuming I have emotions.
Beep bop boop bop bop beep bop. Bob bot 4000.
Yep. It was good. It didn't have the same impact as the manga because I knew it was coming.
Yes. How did you feel about the way they executed his transformation?
I don't know. I thought in the manga it was better done. In this one, it seemed too quick, and his emotions taking over. They were just gone like instantly. When in the manga they lasted a lot longer.
Now this is a huge. I think the episode on paper is great. I really, really loved the transformation, but this should have been a two-parter.
Yeah, it felt rushed.
Holy shit, did they rush the fuck out of this, and it takes a lot of the impact out. So they go to clean up the fucking was it the sword hero who fucked up? They gotta kill to clean up the dragon.
I think it was Spear, asshole.
No, it wasn't Spear. It wasn't Spear. It was one of the other ones. Yeah, I'm sure, because they're cleaning up the different messes of the different heroes. So the Seed was the speared hero, and I think this one was the sword hero that they're cleaning up.
Okay.
They get there. The fucking dragon has now become a zombie poison dragon. I love. This is something that fucking made me smile. Philo goes like, "I fucking hate dragons," and just attacks it. And the reason she fucking hates dragons is because when she was a baby, she had to beat the dragon in a race. So now she has a hatred of dragons.
No, I'm pretty sure in the manga they mentioned that the fucking chickens and dragons are just like arch enemies.
Oh, really?
They all hate each other.
Oh, I must have missed that. I thought she learned to hate them, not that she just inherently hates them.
No, I'm pretty sure all of their race just inherently hates them.
Well, that's lazy. That makes me sad. I thought that was actually a good character moment, but no. Okay, well, fuck that then.
I may be wrong, but that's what I remember.
I am glad that they focused more on her eating all the berries. In the manga, I totally missed the part where she eats a bunch of berries. So when she fucks up and gets distracted and the giant CGI dragon...
Oh god! They're getting attacked by bad CG! Oh no!
Eats her and blood squirts out everywhere, which is actually berry juice. In the manga, I was like, what the fuck? What happened? And in this episode, I was like, oh no, it's clearly the berry juice. Got it. Like they wanted to focus more on that. Now, this is one of the biggest failures of the episode. This was a failure of the episode, the manga, everything as a whole. We've seen from his perspective multiple times. We know that he sees the name, the level, and the HP of all of his party members. Even though Philo has been consumed by a dragon, he would know without a doubt she is fine. He would know her health bar is full. He would know she's not unconscious or dead. He would have all of that information. But in the moment, he goes ape shit and is like, oh my god, I've lost everything. It's all over. Now, this is where this should have been a two-parter. In the manga and in the light novel, him and Philo have a moment at like a campfire where she's like, you know, Master, why did you choose me? Would you have treated anything that would have hatched from one of those eggs the same? Am I special? Am I just some, you know, some slave, you know? And they have this connection, and he's like, you know, you were the one meant for me because you were the one that hatched, kind of thing. Which is kind of like yes and no. Like, you know, you're still my child, even though you could have been anybody's child. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which is kind of a sweet moment, which makes her, like, you know, air quotes, death mean more. They completely left that shit out. Oh, we got the hot spring episode, but the moment where him and her become like daughter-roo, dad-foo, whatever the fuck. No, let's throw that shit out the window and just have her get eaten by the dragon and then him go ape shit. Now, the part that I loved, though, absolutely adored, and I've rewatched the scene like 20 times, is When he gets the leet speak, like, crackle, like shit starts to distort, he's unlocking Curse Shield or whatever the fuck. And his audio is lo-fi and broken, and it just sounds so fucking amazing. I want to clip out every single audio clip of him like raging or fucking screaming burn or anything. It's just so well done. But we build and we build, and they made that interesting directorial choice again, kind of like in episode 4, where they changed this perspective of the scene. Where in the manga, you're seeing this event through Raphtalia's perspective and her trying to save Shield Hero. In this version, we're seeing it from his perspective. He's seeing red. He doesn't give a fuck about the consequences. He doesn't care what's happening around him. He's just in the moment. And then he's snapped out of it by Raphtalia. The problem is this all happens within the span of like 40 seconds. From him going, I've lost everything, burn the world, to, oh yeah, Raphtalia's here. Hi, Raphtalia. Oh my goodness, did I burn you? I'm so sorry. I love you. Everything's fine. Chicken eats dragon from the inside, like we've seen done in fiction a billion times. Everything's okay. This is where you talk, Bob.
I mean, you just basically reaffirmed what I said.
Oh my god.
What else? I don't have anything else to say.
You don't like, did you not like the audio effect of him going ape shit?
I didn't even notice it.
Oh my fucking god, this is why everybody fucking fails. People don't watch shit right. I'm gonna say this. You can watch things wrong. You can experience media wrong. If you are not paying attention to the point where you don't notice that the audio goes from like total clear, upfront, in your ears, to being distorted, echoey, and distant, that is a failure on your part. But it was awesome. Raphtalia gets cursed by the curse shield. Shield Hero says, fuck it, I will give anyone all of my money to save her. The nurse tells Raphtalia that, like, man, that Shield Hero really fucking cares for your ass. And then she begs Shield Hero in a moment of weakness to spend the night in her bed. And he calls in Philo to lay with her. And he looks back, and I don't know if they meant this to be cringy and fucking edgy as fuck, but he's like, I'm not warm anyway. Like, I'm cold. And just like walks out. I mean, he's leaving because he like is upset and he wants to like self-reflect, whatever. But the way he handles it, of just like, I'm cold as ice. And that's the entire episode.
Yeah, so what else left is there to talk about?
That fucking damn piece of shit. Disagree with me on something. Argue with me. Point something out that I didn't notice. Anything.
You didn't notice that it was fucking already backstory that they hated dragons.
Was that in the anime though?
It was in the manga.
Okay, well there you go. We're not. We can compare. That's fine, but I didn't miss it. If we're talking about the anime and it wasn't in the anime.
Yeah, well, whatever. I have nothing else to say about it.
All right, fine, whatever. Well, I'll finish up No Game No Life next week. We might experiment with other few things. I may, if I get time, I'll make my special intro for our wonderful a thing that we've joked about being a Patreon reward will be free to the world. So I'll put an announcement video for that sometime soon when I have time to actually produce it. And
we don't have a Patreon.
I just don't understand why you can't listen to the words that I say to know that I never inferred that we have a fucking Patreon. It's something that we have joked about. If we did have a Patreon, would be a reward, but since we don't, we'll be free to everyone.
I don't pay attention to you half the time anyway.
All right, Bob, I'm going to take us out. So you want to go ahead and say goodbye to the people?
Thank fucking God. Good night.
Peace.
Fire